So, hi Eric, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I got a little bit of cough. My wife's got a little bit of cough. I hear
You got a cough, and you got a cough. Yeah, well,
everybody gets a cough.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. Also, my son got a little bit of fever as well, and a cough is here too. So we just wait till we get some fever too. So,
and he has the fever, and they still won't give you tests.
Yeah, it's pity, but it's understandable probably because the number of tests are limited anyway. And Netherlands now in damage control, I think, more than in trying to find out how many actual people gets infected. So they're more interested, which kind of treatment to apply to severe cases. And they just assume that it doesn't make sense to do a test if you don't have issues.
Been there, done that. We got the T-shirt. We set up drive-through tests here now. They're popping up in New York, and they reportedly ran 5,000 tests yesterday. So finally getting moving. It's been a real show. I mean, Jordan, edit that. It's been a real rough time.
Yeah,
we'll get through it.
I think different countries respond in different way. For instance, I was really surprised with how fast Ukrainian government decided to do a complete shutdown. Like in Ukraine, situation is not even close to the Netherlands. And in Netherlands, like it's a very small country with 17 million and very high density population. Actually, the most dense population in Europe right now is in the Netherlands. And over here, like they was very late with the actual shutdown. Like everything was still working. Like they closed some stuff. Like they closed universities, but they decided daycares and schools do not make sense to close because it gives too much of economic impact on all the parents that still have to go to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and a lot of kids here, at least, depend on those lunches to eat. So when the schools close, they're now giving lunches still. Kids can come pick up lunches, which was cool.
Oh, wow.
Although the kids come and get the lunches and then hang out outside the school, which is not cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated everywhere on our world. So
it is. Yeah.
I hope everything gets better. And, the more and more positive news are from everywhere, like this drug trials and so on. Like
FDA today released, they approved chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine, which has been used in South Korea and China with some efficacy. So that was approved.
Yeah. So let's hope the world can fight it and it won't be another disaster like Spanish flu. So let's hope for that. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit maybe about Magento stuff, right?
Yeah, let's do the intro.
Yeah.
Odin the Loop, sponsored by Blackfire.io. I'm Eric Hileman, CEO and co-founder of Mage Mojo Magento Hosting out of New York City. Purpose of this program is to take some of what we've learned from over 10 years of Magento-centric hosting and evaluate one of our customers' stores. And we'll share that with you, what we find, in hopes that it may improve your Magento skills and the performance of your Magento stores. So along with me then this trip is my co-host, Ivan.
Hey, my name is Ivan. I'm one of former Magento 1 core developers. I'm running now consultancy business here in the Netherlands. I'm helping merchants as well as agencies to solve performance issues in Magento 2 and Magento 1. So that's what we do on this show. We get merchants with different issues and we discuss them and hope you can learn something from it and won't make the same mistakes as extension vendors sometimes do. So, Eric, how is it going in general with Mage Mojo? Do you have any influx of visitors on your customer websites right now, or not much?
It's pretty steady. I think if anything, it's a little bit higher because people are going to shop online since they can't go out, and we're still seeing new customer sign up. So our new sales is growing. If anything, a little bit faster, and we haven't seen this spike in cancellations. The economic damage is going to be delayed, but I think in general, people are moving online to digital, and with Amazon announcing that they're no longer accepting shipments into the Fulfilled by Amazon program, and they're focusing only on critical household goods, I think it's a good opportunity for sellers to focus on their brands and their online stores.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. Like a lot of people who were having completely offline business now have to consider switching because no one knows how long it will take, to have a complete shutdown of stuff. Like definitely a lot of places are still open. You can go there offline, but not a lot of people would go there. So there is definitely a lot of business effects in place over here, definitely in the Netherlands. I know
something else, Ivan. Something else. We're gonna release Stratus 3 in a couple weeks.
Wow, and that's great.
Yeah, and the reason I bring it up is because with everybody working from home, leaving their offices and working from home, I think Stratus 3 is going to be really great for them because it takes the local part out of local development. And what we've heard from a lot of agencies is that it's tough to support their developers even when they're in offices and it can answer questions. So as people go remote and try to figure it out, I think Stratus 3 is going to be a really good thing for them that they'll really, really like. And we're going to give it away free for a couple months for everybody during this crazy time, and have them come in and use it and hopefully get some good feedback on it, I'm sure, and help them develop smoother with less problems.
Oh, it's quite nice news that you gonna make some free availability of your Stratus platform, because I think a lot of people need to have something as kind of emergency solution right now, and this looks like a very nice opportunity to help those people. In general, I saw, for instance, right now there is a trend of buying less stuff that you actually don't need, right? People are mostly focusing on daily supplies. No one goes and buys, let's say, for luxury fashion right now. So
yeah, unless you're my wife, she's a little bit panic buying toilet paper and frozen chicken. But then she's like, "Oh my goodness, Brooks Brothers put shirts on sale. Can you get me a gift card out of the Amex points so I can buy?"
This angle I didn't consider. Probably there is some people who can really go and do some sales shopping right now online, because.
Honestly, I'm like, all right, because we've got to keep the flow of goods and services going. If we all stop buying things, the economy just self-perpetuates, where people are losing jobs because the companies aren't making money and they're not spending more money, so more companies are losing jobs. So yeah, keep spending, keep the flow of goods and services and the economic health.
Yeah, I think it just gives us some signs of rethinking the actual economic structure, because I think this time world really got hit hard with pandemic, that
and it's delayed. Yeah. We haven't seen it yet. We're just now seeing the results of what happened in China and Wuhan 2-3 months ago. We're just now seeing those. So, and we don't know what's going to happen with the world or here, or how bad it's going to be. And so, yeah, it's probably a 6-month time just to really see the effects.
Yeah, let's hope for the best. So, now on some positivity wave, like we have a very nice customer to review today. All right.
It's a cute dog. I love the boots.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the customer.
MR Pets. It's a really cool site. I like the site. I don't know a lot about the problems that they've had because they kind of came in late, and our team's been busy. I think our team's been a little bit distracted, like all teams are at the moment. So we'll have to just dive in and see what we can find. I'm sure we'll find some interesting things.
Okay, great. So the first thing that I want to highlight, it's the homepage. It's always nice to have a nice logo on the homepage. Like you just start to feel like, yeah, this is a nice website to review and see if it has any performance issues. So let's start with the homepage, right? Let's profile it right away. Let me put away my Zoom.
Do you have a dog?
No, I don't have a pet. I was having a cat when I was a kid, but I never had a dog. So it takes a little bit of time, and it looks actually very interesting as I see right now, because what I see here, like they have only 31 database query on the homepage. This is very good result for Magento. Like, this is amazing result. And then you can see here like 2.8 seconds spent on CPU. So this one is a little bit, adds a little bit of time right to the system. And I right away can say probably they don't have, first of all, opcode cache enabled, because this config loader compiled load shouldn't take 161 milliseconds. It tells us that the PHP parser parses hard the PHP files that gets included in Magento. So it means that they don't have opcode cache enabled in their current environment. This is just bad for PHP performance. However, there is another thing. They have this minifier happening, and you can see that they use merged CSS files, and this is actually merged JS files, and this is something that is not advised to use in Magento 2 installment, because you should use advanced bundling. Oh, you have someone come in your...
Yeah, my wife walked in. She doesn't know we're recording right now.
Hello there.
Oh, lunch. Lunch has arrived. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
And no problem. Like, she is welcome to join our show. Okay, so in general, what I was telling about is that here you can see that there is at least 1.8 seconds spent on merging JavaScript files together. You see this JS string minify. This is something that is used in Magento when you turn on JS minification together with merge process. It just merges those files together, tries to minify them. This shouldn't happen at all during during the render time of the page. It only happens because you turn on the merge of JavaScript files. So they just need to turn this feature off. They can keep minifying JavaScript files, because during static content deploy, Magento can create minified version of JavaScript files. It's not a problem. The problem in this case is only related to the one that is used as a merged JavaScript file on the front end. And this takes a lot of time. Actually, it takes majority of the time of the page render. So it's like almost like if there would not be there, if there would be no merge process over here, it would take only 1 second probably to render this page. So this is, I think, quite good indication of what's happening there. And in other things, I don't see much of performance issues on the homepage. So, but they might see some performance issues if they really, like turn this feature off and then profile this page again. Because right now, like I don't see any issues over here. And of course, probably there is a standard issue related to the composer afterload. This is as well another thing that we were discussing on almost every single show. When the composer afterload is either not optimized or optimized before the static DI compile. Oh, sorry, before the setup DI compile gets executed. So let's go to a category page. So let's see if category page shows us.
Hold on, can you clarify that last statement? So if somebody tries to optimize, so if somebody's build commands, they have the composer autoload optimization before the DI static compile. You've seen that an issue, is that right?
Yeah. So basically, you always need to optimize your class maps to the ones that are used in your production. This is a general practice for composer-based projects because a composer heavily relies on automatic afterload resolving through the composer JSON files. And when you install something through a composer, you can dump automatically the class maps that removes a lot of lookups during the runtime of the application. So that class maps really speed up the inclusion process of the classes you want to use in your application. And Magento has a lot of classes, so for Magento, composer afterload optimization is one of the key features that needs to be used from composer. But unfortunately, majority of the merchants, they don't read a documentation that is available on Magento DevDocs related to the production deploys. And where Magento tells that you first need to compile all your DI dependencies, and then you need to run composer optimization afterload dump. In such a way, a composer takes into account also all the files that were generated by Magento as well, because Magento has a bunch of after-generated classes, and those after-generated classes are not discovered in a file system by composer if they're not there, right? So you need to create those files through setup DI compile, and only after that you need to run a composer dump to load afterwards. So does it clarify your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so great. So let's move to a category page, shall we? Oh, okay. Weird. I don't see any. Oh, okay. So somehow on Linux, there is a small issue with the Blackfire profiler in Firefox. It covers all the page somehow. I don't know why it was not showing. So let's take a look at this category, because I was taking a look at it and it was looking quite interesting. Like all those products are here in adoptions category. They're unsellable because they actually have paths for adoption, and you have to come and adopt a bird or a reptile in a store directly. So let's see how this page with only 9 product performs. Also looks like they need a little bit to optimize their page layout, because right now they don't use any filters. And at the same time they have this shop by block on the left side that seems just takes space. So maybe for this category it makes sense just to create a separate layout update with only 1 column page layout. I think it's even just a setting in category where you can choose from that stuff. Okay, so we have quite a lot of time spent on CPU again. And as far as I see, there is not much of database queries. However, time spent on database is quite large too. So first of all, we have some configuration being read. Okay, it looks a little bit weird. Wait a moment. So, do they by any chance actually clearing cache right now?
Shouldn't be.
Because it looks like they just cleared the cache because when the compiled configuration for dependency injection in Magenta was loaded, it actually hit the file system. And that's where majority of the time has been spent. So let's just profile it one more time, just for the good measure. Okay, this time it was a little bit faster. So let's see. Okay, yeah. So seems like we've catched the cache flash moment in Magento. Either we're flashing a cache right now in admin, or there is some kind of an extension that actually flashes the cache by cron. So I would definitely advise just to check if they did really flash right now or touch the website right now. So let's take a look. First of all, right away we see again this minifier, right? So minifier takes another almost 2 seconds, right? And here we have category products render. And I think here, yeah, we have some standard Magento stuff related to the price rendering. Yeah. So this is not that much of a problem on this page because they show only simple products here as far as I understand. And also a lot of CPU time here could be also a result of non-turned on opcode cache. So this one they need to look into and enable opcode cache on their Magento instance. So let's see, do we see anything out of ordinary here? Not much.
What was that about opcode cache? Because that should be enabled. PHP opcode?
Yeah, PHP opcode cache.
I mean, they would have to explicitly disable that.
Or maybe it's just their PHP version, maybe?
Well, they were on 7.1 and they switched to 7.2.
Okay, so it looks a little bit interesting, you know, like when we take a look at this one. It takes a lot of time to load. Oh, actually, now it doesn't take a lot of time. It takes some time, but not a lot of time. So probably now we see actually opcode cache enabled page. Yeah. So now it doesn't look that bad. But the home page, probably we hit, like maybe they did some.
Oh, I know
update.
what it was. Yeah, right before we enabled Blackfire, they were on PHP 7.1, so I think they were switched to 7.2 in order to get Blackfire to work.
Ah, okay. So
yeah, we don't have support for 7.1 because it's deprecated or whatever.
Yeah, it's already end of life by PHP itself. So, okay. Here I definitely see that there is some issues with Magenta Core. And here's also some kind of configurable products. What is this one? So this is probably something additional, but in general, like in Magento, you will always see this problem with prices when Magento tries to get the tier prices from the database directly. And here it happens for every simple product on the product listing. And this stuff is probably something that we see over here as the spikes or the time consumers when we render the product list, because product lists shouldn't take a lot of time to render. Because you see here, for instance, it takes 800 milliseconds. And if minification is removed, this is gonna take the most time. But definitely, like, minification takes majority of the page load time. So the rendering of the product list is smaller in time than this minification process.
Wow.
So yeah, disable JavaScript merging process on the front end. It's very simple. Just go into the admin panel, into the development options, and disable JavaScript file merging. And
so is that is a global advice for everybody? Like, just disable that?
Yeah, JavaScript merging is a completely bad feature because it actually will create a big one JavaScript file for every single page. And Magento right now has a separate project that you can use in order to optimize your front-end assets for the end users. It's called Boulder. That was developed by Andrew Levine.
Yeah, all right. I'll have to link that.
Yeah, so this one is open source and available in Magento GitHub repository. Basically, it just allows you to create some kind of bundling based on pages by doing some smart approach by actually visiting the website, and then it will generate bundling for you afterwards. So it's kind of cool for front end. So
now, is that something like a customer, like a store owner, could install and use, or does that take some developer time to configure and customize?
Yeah, and unfortunately, you need a front-end developer for that to set up. So it's not something you can just do out of the box without. Yeah. Also, because it highly depends on your hosting environment. And also your build process, because you can run Boulder locally and create all the required bundled JavaScript for you for production, and then just push it, in your code base. So let's see. Let's go into the dog category.
Beagle. I had a beagle.
Okay, so they have plenty of
Baylor.
products.
Baylor. Baler. I got it.
Yeah. So now I have some time to sip my coffee. And as I see, they sell configurable products here because I see price ranges on category page. So we're definitely gonna see some interesting performance issues. However, what I really liked about the store when I was viewing it on mobile is that they actually use lazy image loading. So before recording the show, I was just browsing it on my mobile phone. And it wasn't hammering me with all the images at once. So it was a very nice experience. I was just scrolling down and I was receiving the product images being loaded up. So good job over there. However, this one looks a little bit interesting, like it's 1090 database queries on the category page. So we're gonna see some interesting stuff here. And now finally, the rendering of the products is outweighing in time the minification process. So here we definitely will see some load in the loop. And as I expected, they have some configurable products. And here they have some swatches. Okay. So they have swatches on category pages. And this is probably possible to fix quite easily. Because, as we learned from our previous shows, actually Magento has a configuration option to disable it in the admin panel. So they just need to go into system configuration and they need to choose catalog frontend. And in catalog frontend, they have an option to disable color swatches for category pages. So let's see. Do we have anything else here? Let's just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so apart from that, so here we have actually it could be even not a part of Magento. Maybe they already disabled it because I see here I cannot tell for sure without seeing an actual code itself of the store, but I see there is some Firebeer configurable products extension. It looks like for the configurable product view after get cache key, there is this functionality called get JSON config invoked. That actually invokes a lot of I/O operation over here. So I think this plugin is invoked where it shouldn't be invoked, in my opinion. Okay, and now I understand what's the problem. So they're using this Welt pixel theme for Magento store. And the theme comes with a bunch of extensions, that are available. And what I see here, that there is this quick view extension that they have, but they actually don't use it. Oh, actually interesting. Yeah, so they definitely don't use quick view extension. So they have a category page. And from category page, like you just usually like you have a quick view button where you can preview the whole product view page. And this quick view module from Welt Pixel is actually triggering this Firebeer extension and triggering these color swatches and all the other stuff from the product view. So this one is, I think, the biggest performance bottleneck. So as I see, they don't use it on category pages. They don't use quick view. So probably the easiest fix is just disable this extension. because the plugin of this extension definitely adds a lot of load time on a category page. And do we see any other issues? I think the other issues are not that significant compared to this one. And this issue is actually adds this number of database queries on a category page.
Wow. That's quite a few.
And also there's interesting number of database queries for this one. You see OS warehouse store view. This one looks interesting. Probably because the Valve Pixel is using quick view. It triggers probably the complete product load for every single product that is on a category page separately. Oof. So a lot of data that's usually only loaded on the product page is loaded there. But I would advise them just to disable this quick view extension and then reprofile their store again with Blackfire and see if there is still some relevant database queries. Because usually when I do profiles with a customer, just to verify that everything works well, I just comment out the piece of code I see is problematic and see if the number of database queries decreases a lot in order to know, shall I dig deeper? Maybe there is other functionality also doing the same thing as this piece of code was doing. So just to know, like where to go further into the research during the performance check. So let's take a look into the product page. So the product page is a little bit slow too. So let's see what are going to be the information from the profile result. Wow, so this should be a very big bag of dog food, because they specifically put it here and notice that it's oversized package.
That's the size of the bags of rice we buy. We buy rice by that size. The people are panic buying rice, and I'm like, I already got like 75 pounds.
Yeah, the most interesting thing, like we are here in the Netherlands, we already have we had people panicking and buying stuff last week, but now you just can go in store and buy whatever you want anyway. Like
that's good. That's great.
The supply chain just works. There is no issues with getting stuff. Yeah, the shelves are emptier because the store employees don't put everything on shelves just in case. Because if people come and buy everything from the store shelf, like other people who will come will not be able to buy it as well. But
yeah, that's a big problem.
But the stores anyway are going to be open, so people don't panic.
Here, Target was actually saying that 1 hour after they open, for 1 hour, the first hour, they're going to allow only senior citizens to come in and shop, which I thought was really awesome.
Yeah, it's very nice for them. Okay, so here we have some load in a loop on category on the product page as well. So some kind of functionality loads the product. So you see configurable get options, and then there is a product model get load. And somewhere here again, I probably will see, the product model get load, again the product model get load, and so on. So some functionality is loading each product one by one on a configurable product page. So I'm not sure why it's happening, but it's definitely a case, and that's why you see this number of database queries. And those database queries are not the fastest one. And as well, actually, it's quite interesting what actually spends the most time on a database, because 378 milliseconds for a database, this is a lot. So let's sort it out by the time. Okay. So I can tell you for sure that probably they have a lot of attribute options, and here something is causing table sort. You see, it's using an order by sort order, and then an order by value, and because they have a lot of options, because of that, there's quite a lot of data to put on disk by MySQL. So this query takes quite a lot of time. And it's executed 76 times. So this is probably 76 attributes over there. And then there is this OS warehouse store view, and it's executed 44 times, and could be possible even that this table doesn't even have indexes, because or maybe this is a huge table as well, we don't know. But 44 times, you probably execute it only for one store. You don't execute it for all the stores you have in your Magento store.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Yeah, they definitely need to take a look closer into the database queries that are happening on product page. Also, there is 14 times the product gets loaded by ID. So seems like some functionality just loading product from repository or something like that. Apart from that, nothing else stands out. This top 3 rows show actually majority of the loading loops already from the database perspective. Yeah, and they contribute the most time to the load on the page. Yeah, and here we actually can see again on the right side in a timeline view. Oh, sorry, not the timeline, in call graph view, we can actually see right away the 3000 and something calls to composer after loader. So yeah, they don't use optimizer of class maps at all. This is something that's easy fix. And this one, I don't know what's happening there. It actually requires to take a look at their code base itself, what gets rendered in this method. But from what I see on the page itself, I don't see anything different from rendering of the standard Magento, because I see the same configurable product dropdown with weight just as selected. This one looks like a link to external page. I don't see any information like availability per store or something like that. So it looks weird that there is a lot of database queries are happening, because this one looks like standard out of the box Magento product page. So I think it makes sense revise extensions that they have, because I think this configurable product extension, it doesn't do anything over here, at least on the product page, from point of view of functionality, because it just loads the data for every single product.
What configurable product extension was that? Was that part of the Well Pixel bundle?
No, it's not a part of Well Pixel. It's Fire Beer configurable product. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Well, let's look it up. Do we have some information about it? Fire Beer configurable products. Oh, okay. So they definitely don't use it. Look.
Yeah.
So this is something probably that they add in their extension, like they add this price range. This is something that we saw on a category page, right? We saw that they're using price range from and to. But this is something that Magento already has out of the box, and it provides you as min and max price of the product as a property value. So you just need to modify a template. You don't need extension for that. So I would definitely remove this extension, because I don't see anything that they show, for instance, here on the product page being used in this customer case. Because here they just have a simple dropdown, and this dropdown.
Yeah, check some other products.
Yeah, let's again. Blackfire hiding the menu from me. Yeah, let's click on some random category. Yeah, let's click here. Oh, this is simple product. Do we have any configurable product? Let's click on another random category. Yeah. Let's see. Again, simple product. Okay, so probably mostly the big configurable products are usually dog food. Okay. Probably dry food. Let's see for cats.
Gift cards, maybe. There's a gift card item.
Okay, we'll come to it. Okay, so this is the only one that I saw as a configurable product so far. And let's see for gift card. Let's see.
At the bottom.
At the bottom, gift cards. Okay. Let's click on it. I don't think it's configurable product, but could be. Yeah, it's not a configurable. It's a gift card product, so it's different one. Let's just, for the sake of interest, click and profile this page.
Is a gift card a built-in?
I think it's some extension. However, why do you need to specify a time zone?
I don't know. They're gonna deliver the hand deliver
because you choose a date, not delivery time. So this sounds weird. Okay, let's see with the timeline. Yeah, it's definitely not a configurable product. So I don't see the standard configurable product issues here. Oh, Blackfire hides all the top of the page, so I cannot click on anything on top. Okay, and let's see Mr. Pet's gift card with a price range here. This one looks like a configurable product, but still I don't see anything different from the standard Magento out of the box configurable product, as you see. So yeah, this is pretty simple, I think. So let's just take a quick look at the shopping cart process. So let's put record on all requests. Oh no, I didn't want to click on refreshing the flyer page. Stop profiling. Let's just go into the again dry food for dogs, and let's just do recording of the profile. Let's just go to the page with the product. Okay, they have some issues also with additional data, but we'll take a look at it later. So we choose now a size. And there's again another post request happening in the backend. We add to cart, and now we go to the shopping cart. Actually, we can stop the profiling at this point. So here we see there's a lot of additional Ajax requests happening in the background. So I don't know if this really is necessary, because looks like you could bundle the required information together with the original rendered page if needed. So this one definitely looks redundant. The one related to get product banner page data. Here we have Bogle customizations. I don't know what it is. But looks like, again, it just loads a product. Yeah. So it loads a product in order to retrieve some data from a product for rendering. Again, what was it called? Get product details hints. So this is something that is absolutely redundant as an Ajax action, because you could definitely already have an access to the product model on the product view page, right? You don't need to do a separate call to Magento backend to retrieve this data. And probably this one is used in order to show this additional shipping charges message or something like that. So this is my guess what this functionality is for. Then customer section load. This is the standard Magento problem that happens all the time. Then adding to the shopping cart, there is quite a lot of database queries. Let's take a look at them. Okay, so again, this OS warehouse store view, like, I don't know where this comes from. It's not a standard Magento query, so it's some kind of either custom functionality or an extension that adds this database query here. And the simple product gets loaded like 11 times. So this shouldn't happen when adding to cart. So there's definitely some place for improvement over there, especially I just added one single product. I expect that number of database queries will grow with the number of products I already have in my shopping cart. Then, actually, let's right away test it. So let me just go to another product page. Let's go for the cat food now. And let's go to product page. Let's enable profiling. And let's something to the shopping cart. Let's stop profiling. And let's just see if the number of database queries really changed. I think it didn't, right? Oh no, it's still processing my request. Okay, so here it is. Yeah, it did, and quite a lot. So it
22
was
now.
It was 170, and now it's 251.
Double.
So basically, with each product added to the shopping cart, you can expect that the next add to cart is going to be slower and slower and slower. So if you have a customer that just shops through your website and adds products from each category, with every new product customer adds to the shopping cart, you can expect that he will get more, or he or she will get more frustrated by waiting till you get this add to cart message show up. So this is definitely a problem as a result of some load in the loop.
Can you tell where that load in the loop is?
I think, like, the problem is that without seeing the code of add to cart process, it's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
But just seeing the profiles, like, there is some stuff happening in Stripe integration. Okay. This looks weird. Why Stripe need to observe product after load event? And unfortunately, it doesn't show me right away where the data gets loaded so many times. But there's definitely something going on there. Let's see what actually the database queries are. So yeah, right now you see that mostly it's related actually to attributes and not the product itself. But yeah, let's actually do this thing. Let's open the previous one. Okay, so the previous one, database queries. And let's open this one, database queries. And let's just compare them. So here we see 33 in a new profile, and the previous one was 35. So there is apparently less database queries on the second run for warehouse. However, here for catalog category product, there's 11, and in a new profile, there is 14. So there is a little bit more queries to the database product page. So it means like probably every single simple product has been loaded separately from a configurable product added previously to the cart, and right now we added a simple product to the cart, not a configurable one. So now there is less queries happening, but still there is quite a lot of queries happening over there. Then I see here there is some kind of attribute gets loaded one by one. I expect this is a result of having a products previously in the shopping cart. And most probably with more products added to cart, we will see a stable number around these queries. But the other queries probably gonna increase, like product and so on. And coupons, for instance, yeah, coupons probably increased a little bit. So it was 12, now it's also 12. Okay. So this one stayed stable. However, this one has been added, and the product queries definitely has increased too, because all this data gets as a result of separate product model load one by one. So there is definitely somewhere a process happening. So if we go into the timeline view and we take a look at Magento 2 all model load, we can see that there is 14 model loads, right? In this new profile. And in the previous one, if we switch to the timeline view, we see 13 model loads, right? So every single product seems like have an own separate model load, and it means that each of these model loads introduces a database query. Yeah, so for instance here, 13, it's just a regular number of models Magento has, for instance, shipping address, quote itself, and other stuff. And here we see actual product load. It's nice that actually Blackfire decided to add Magento product load as a separate metric, because probably it's a very common issue.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so now we can see how many times someone has been loading a product on a page, right? So here we see that on adding to cart, on original one, it was 6 loads of the product model, and here we see it 7. So let's go ahead and let's just go again to the dog food, to the dry food. It's our configurable product. Let's see if adding a configurable product increases number of those models. Let's just choose some random configurable. Oh, sorry, it's not a configurable, it's a simple product. Yeah, let's go back and find a configurable one. let's see. Okay, so all the configurable products are on top. Let's go back to the top. Let's take a look at this one. And let's choose this packet and let's add it to the shopping cart. Oh, no. I have to add another one because I forgot to turn on the profiler. Okay, let's add another size and let's see how our database queries compare now. Okay, stop recording and let's refresh. Let's wait till Blackfire finishes processing the trace. Okay, so here it is, 409. Oh, yeah. So my suspicion gets confirmed. Adding configurable product to the shopping cart doubles number of queries related to the product itself. So with every single configurable product added to the shopping cart, number of database queries related to the product grows by the number of actual products. So there is definitely a load in the loop related to the product somewhere. Unfortunately, in this case, from the profile itself, I don't see exactly what's happening there. So there's definitely something going on, like here, for instance, yeah. Oh, actually, this is a stripe. Actually, we found the source of the problem.
No.
Look, subscriptions validate cart items. Right away, load and loop found. I thought they need to spend more time in doing it, but it just was a moment of random click on the timeline and seeing this load product by ID method. So it's an indication it happens in a loop. So this Stripe subscription plugin or payment subscriptions actually introduces a performance bottleneck. So if someone using the Stripe or Magento payment extension, I don't know if it's official Stripe integration or not, but this one definitely introduces a performance issue in the shopping cart. And especially like for Stripe, why do they need the whole product model in the first place? Like they can just observe after load event of the collection, collect product ID, load relevant data for those product IDs, accept, and it's going to be done. Or they can also add attributes that they need in a shopping cart from those product into product collection attribute to be loaded within standard Magento procedures. So you can observe some events in Magento and add those attributes to the collection. It doesn't make sense to just load a product separately by ID, especially because this will exponentially grow number of database queries with the number of products you have in a shopping cart. So it's not good.
Cool.
Oh, look, they have new feature. Wait, I didn't notice it. Look, Blackfire, you are amazing, guys.
Oh,
That's
wait a minute.
cool.
The call stack, that's new, yeah.
Wow, I like it. I really like it. That's cool. Oh, yeah. That's great. So now you can see the whole call stack of the performance issue. So you don't need to read here. You can just click here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or here, and you can just see everything that happens underneath.
Very cool.
That's very nice. Oh, actually, everything that happens on top, yeah. So if I click here, for instance, I can see, yeah, the message that has been invoked all the way up. Yeah, that's nice, especially if you are somewhere deep in the stack and you just want to see where it was called without scrolling to the top. So it's very nice feature. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I think yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I think customer has something to work on here. So
yeah, maybe a couple easy wins there. The Composer auto load, disabling a JavaScript merging, and then the Welt Pixel theme bundled extensions disable the quick view. That seems like a pretty big win.
Disable the quick view and think about replacing the configurable product extension from Firebear with something simple in a template, because obviously, like, probably they just use it for this price range feature, because I don't see any other traces of this extension being used from the functionality described on a page of the extension provider. And this is, I think, something that a lot of developers will do. Like, customer wants a feature, so developer will look for an extension, but this extension has a lot of other features that are not used by the merchant, and then this extension is installed, and for those features there's a lot of additional data gets loaded and so on. Like, it's not a problem of the extension itself, it's a problem of the way how you use the extension, because you buy I don't know how to put a proper analogy here, but you buy a Swiss Army knife just to use a Phillips screwdriver,
Right. Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense.
And its price range is out of the box feature capability, right?
I think not rendering them. So the data is there, everything is there. The only thing is the template. So you just need to modify a template for a configurable product price rendering to show the price ranges instead of showing the final price. Because Magento standard functionality, it shows as low as label. It doesn't show you minimum price and maximum price. Okay, so I think this is going to be the first episode with short wrap-up of all the features profiled, and I think we're good here. So in general, I like the website. This brings so much positivity just looking at the homepage, like the puppy in the pink boots. That's so adorable.
Okay. Yeah, we'll call it there then. We'll link up the Baylor in the show notes. We're LITL at Mage Mojo, Load in the Loop on Twitter, and we'll link up our contact information in the show notes as well. And thank you to Blackfire for sponsoring this, and also a very cool new feature with the call stacks. Yeah, it was very interesting feature to discover on the episode, because I recently didn't do any profiling. I was busy with some other work related to fixing Magento 1 features, so it was a little bit unexpected release of a feature. Cool. Okay, so thank you everyone for tuning in, and until the next episode.